Welcome to Meet Me on Main Street, the podcast that takes you straight into the magic of Disney, the thrills of Universal, and everything in between. This is a 407 and Beyond production, where vacations are more than just trips. They're unforgettable family vacations. Be sure to follow the show on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and all socials at Main Street Pod. Now let's get started on this week's episode, because all the best stories begin and end right here on Main Street. Let's do it. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your guy, Joseph Belveduto, aka Nostalgic Belv, and as always, I hope you are having a wonderful day. Today is September 1st, 2025, and this is episode 11 of the Meet Me on Main Street podcast. And boy, am I excited, because as you have heard, we are officially a podcast of the 407 and Beyond Productions. We have a lot of new and big things to get excited about, and as you have heard in the beginning of the episode as well, we have a new Instagram that you can follow. We are at Main Street Pod. Make sure after the show you swing by there and drop that a follow, because you know I love interacting with you guys. I've been doing pretty well on TikTok with interacting and getting your questions answered all about Disney and Universal. So do it over on Instagram as well, so we can make sure that we're hitting it from all angles. And like I said, we have a lot to get excited about. We have a trip coming up on Saturday. This is going to be a 10-day trip, guys. I'm going to be heading out Saturday, September 6th, and I'm returning on Monday, September 15th. So obviously I'm going to be heading down and hanging out with all of the team at 407 and Beyond. Super excited to do that. But before I get too carried away talking about that trip that I have coming up, I'd like to stick to our normal routine and jump into some Disney news, because we got some fun stuff to talk about. So Disney has announced the November opening date for Zootopia Better Zoogether. So the official date is November 7th, 2025, and it's going to be held at the Tree of Life Theater and, of course, Disney's Animal Kingdom. With the up-and-coming sequel, Zootopia 2, which opens in theaters on November 26th, 2025, it seems like Better Zoogether bridges the stories of the original Zootopia film along with the up-and-coming sequel. Guests will also be able to have a meet-and-greet experience with Judy and Nick. Although I'm always going to miss the Bugs Life show, I am very excited for Zootopia Better Zoogether. Now, moving on, Spaceship Earth, now closed for refurbishment. Earlier in the year, Disney announced that Spaceship Earth would be closing at the end of August, and this project is expected to last the entire remainder of the year. This is basically just some system updates and some general maintenance. And there's also been rumor that the in-ride display screens might be updated as well. Some people like to hate on Spaceship Earth. I think Spaceship Earth is a staple of Epcot, and I think you gotta always remember your roots. I do know that a lot of those older rides I do miss often. Of course, the new rides that took their place are always great, but it's always nice to think back to some of those old nostalgic rides, and I do wish we still had some of them. But moving on, 2025 Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. The sellouts seem to continue, and this is as expected. If you plan on going to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, make sure you jump on purchasing your ticket or reach out to somebody from the 407 and Beyond team. We can help you do that. Disney has officially kicked off the 2025 Epcot Food and Wine Festival, and I will say that is what I am most excited for on my up-and-coming trip. Make sure you guys follow me on my TikTok at Nostalgic Belv, because when I'm down there, I'm going to be posting all the videos of all of the food that I eat, and if you guys want to see what things look like in real time, definitely shoot me a follow on there. So we've also been seeing some pictures and some videos of this new temporary look that's going to be coming to Tron. The entire ride is going to have a red glow to it, which looks super, super cool. From what I read, riders will experience an updated visual sequence featuring these red light trails and intense tunnel effects. And the audio has also been updated with industrial tracks from Nine Inch Nails, replacing the current soundtrack to drive the ride's aggressive new tone. This overlay will debut on September 15th, which is the day that I leave my trip, but I'm going to see if I can shoot over to Magic Kingdom in the morning and grab some video of this myself. And for the last bit of news for the day, Walt Disney is set to appear on the Carousel of Progress with new audio animatronic at Magic Kingdom. There will be a new intro scene at the beginning of the show where Walt will share his thoughts on the future. There is no official date for this update. So next up, guys, we're going to jump into my trip that is coming up on Saturday. Super excited. And it's going to be somewhat of a solo trip for a couple days, which I'm excited about, but it's also going to be something extremely new to me because I'm very used to going with my wife and my son and my family. So, with that being said, on Friday, I am heading down to Philadelphia from Scranton. A good friend of mine is getting married. Shout out my buddy Matt Sample. I am so happy for you, man, and I'm looking forward to the wedding. And once again, congratulations. But we are heading down to Philly, and I'm staying overnight. And the next morning, I have my flight at the Philadelphia airport at 2:20 in the afternoon. So my wife is going to drop me off, and I am going to hop on that flight, and I should be arriving in Orlando by roughly, I'm going to say about 5. So I'm going to then go grab my rental car, and from then on, it is an open book. I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to be doing, but I do have a list of things that I would like to get in before the end of the trip. So probably within the next couple days, I'm going to start building the itinerary around the trip and make sure everything gets scheduled in, because it's easy to waste time when you don't have a set schedule. And you want to make sure you get everything in that you want to get in. So I'm thinking first things first, after I get the rental, I'm going to head on down to Disney's Character Warehouse. For those of you who don't know what Disney Character Warehouse is, it's a store that is only about 20 minutes from Disney property, and it's actually on the way from the airport towards Disney property. And basically, it's stuff that is at a discounted rate, that is all licensed Disney products, and it's things that maybe did not sell extremely well within the park, and they sell it at a discounted rate at this store. And I mean, some of the deals that you could get at this store are just really unbelievable, and they have everything. They have Spirit jerseys, mugs, pins, you name it, they got it. So I usually start my trips off at the Disney Character Warehouse, and I get the things that I'm interested in getting. If I want a new hat, I'll buy the hat at Disney Character Warehouse. As long as there's something there that I like, I get the discounted rate, so then you don't have to spend up on it when you go to the parks. Now, with that being said, I am a big pin trader, and I take the pin trading game extremely seriously. So you will never catch me trading a fake pin onto a pin board. So at Disney Character Warehouse, sometimes they have some extremely discounted pins where you can buy them to trade onto the pin boards. And that way, you know you're adding to the magic of Disney and you're keeping it real on the pin boards. But anyway, there's a lot of things that I get there. I get Spirit jerseys there. A lot of times, when they do Run Disney, they do a specific Spirit jersey for that. They don't end up selling all of them. You could get a Spirit jersey for as low as, I've gotten them for $20, and they usually retail for about, I think it's $79.95, so $80. So you're getting some really big discounts. If you went to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party in 2024 and you didn't get a mug, you could find a mug here for, around $3.99, something like that. It's actually easy to get carried away buying a lot of stuff, and you got to keep in mind, if you're flying in, how much room do you have in your bags to take home? And also, if you're starting your trip off with this trip to this store, there's going to be other things that you're going to buy in the upcoming days. So, it gets a little difficult at times, but if that's the most of your worries, then, it's not so bad, right? So, moving on from there, I think I'm going to head on to Disney Springs. I got to head up my Polite Pig. You guys know how much I love the butcher board. I got to get that cheddar jalapeno sausage, the macaroni and cheese, the baked beans, the pulled pork, the brisket. You know me. I eat it all. I'm a fan of the sweet tea old fashioned and just the sweet tea in general. Very, very good. If you guys have never had the sweet tea old fashioned, you're a fan of whiskey or bourbon, highly, highly recommend that. And if you've never had Polite Pig, what are you waiting for? If you're in the Disney Springs area, get on down there. I think that's the plan. I'm going to hit up Polite Pig, and then I think I'm going to have to head over to Gideon's because I love that peanut butter cold brew as well. There is a specific hat that I wanted to buy on the last trip that I was going to get at the big Disney store in Disney Springs, but the store was just so crowded and I was running low on time. And you could honestly get lost in that store with how big it is, especially when there's a lot of people pushing you around. So it's a Monsters University hat. You guys have probably seen it before. It's basically all white. It's got like a blue rim on the hat, and it looks like it's almost like a corduroy material, but I'm really hoping I can grab that hat. I hope I didn't miss my opportunity and maybe they all sold out. They were out for so long, but I just didn't jump on buying them, and I sat and I thought about it for way too long. And then, I'm hoping I didn't lose my opportunity. So I'm going to go to that store, and who knows, maybe I'll get lucky. Maybe it's actually at the Character Warehouse for a discounted rate. I doubt it because it was a pretty popular hat. But I'm going to go down there, check that out, see if I can get that hat so I can rock it for the trip. And from there, I am going to be staying at Uncle Johnny's house. You guys know my Uncle Johnny. He always comes through. I'm going to be crashing at his house. He lives about half hour from the park. And then that'll lead us to the next day. So this is Sunday, and I got the whole day pretty much open. And as you guys know from the last episode that I said, I ended up purchasing an annual pass because it just made sense for me with the amount that I've been going down there as of recently. They say if you go more than 2 times a year, and by that I mean like 2 weeks a year at least, that is when the annual pass usually becomes worth it. On top of that, the deals that they've been giving out as of recently are just crazy for the annual pass members. I was able to get 40% off my stay at the Pop Century, So I ended up saving, I forget exactly how much it was. Let's just say it was a couple $100. That's technically a couple $100 off of the price of the annual pass if you really think about it that way. So I got my annual pass and I have to go pick that up. I'm not sure what the process is for that. I have to dig a little bit deeper. I'd also talk to my uncle or even talk to some of the people over at 407. But yeah, so I got to go pick up my annual pass. I believe I'm going to get a complimentary magnet. So it'll be my first magnet to collect, which I believe right now it is Crush from Finding Nemo. So I'm going to do that. And then I think I'm going to park hop on Sunday. I'm going to be solo. I'm not meeting up with the 407 and Beyond team just yet. And I'd like to maybe get some pin trading in and just hop around the parks. I think there is a not so scary Halloween party happening that day. So I have to utilize getting to Magic Kingdom earlier in the day before the party because I will not have a party ticket for that night. One thing I would like to do, which I'm going to see if I could get into on this day, is I'm going to shoot over to Animal Kingdom and see if I can get involved with that animation class. In the back of the park, there is a animation class that you could take where you basically sit down with a group of people and one of the Disney artists and they teach you how to draw certain characters. I think it's just a good way to get out of the heat, get out of the sun, sit down and enjoy, a little class. And it's, as far as I know, it's 100% free. It's included. You just have to be able to schedule it and get into it. So yeah, that's one thing I think I'm going to try to do on this Sunday. Of course, Animal Kingdom for me is one of my favorite parks to pin trade at as well. Just seems like there's a pin board everywhere you turn. So looking forward to that. So that will lead us now on to Monday and Tuesday. Monday and Tuesday, I'm hanging out with all the guys and gals over at 407 and Beyond. Super excited to meet some of the agents and, just get some content in. Going to be filming, going to be doing some food reviews. I know a couple of them got some reservations over at Beacon Barrel. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to grab one. They booked up so fast, but of course, our team over at 407, we get it done. And some of them got some reservations, so we'll be able to get you guys some more info on what the Beacon Barrel is all about. We're going to get some reviews, we're going to get some videos, some photos, and of course, you could always see that at our social medias. Check that out at 407 and Beyond. So yeah, that's going to be a fun day. I'd like to check out the new parade again in Magic Kingdom. Of course, over in Epcot, we got the Food and Wine going on. A bunch of foods that I'm interested in over there. Specifically, the top 3 that I'm interested in. Actually, scratch that. We're going to go with the top 5. The first thing I'm interested in is the buffalo-style dumplings. These are chicken dumplings with buffalo sauce, celery root, puree, blue cheese cream, crumbled blue cheese, shaved carrot, and some micro celery. The photo just looks absolutely delicious. The second thing I'm interested in trying is the pumpkin mascarpone raviolis. These raviolis really speak for themselves, but they are covered in a brown butter vinaigrette with some parm cheese, some pomegranate seeds, and a hazelnut praline. And man, they look so, so good. The next thing I would like to try is the tostada de carnitas. This is a braised pork atop of a fried corn tortilla with chipotle black beans, salsa ranchera, a crema mexicana, and a queso fresco. Once again, this just looks absolutely amazing. And then follow that up with the simple filet mignon over at Canada, smothered in mushrooms and onions. And then the last thing, which some people are not probably going to agree with this one, but I want to try the cast iron river trout. I've never eaten trout before. I do fish. I enjoy fishing, but I've never actually eaten trout. Trout's very big up here in Pennsylvania. People love catching trout, and I've never tasted one. So I think I'm going to give that one a shot. But it's going to probably be the last one I try because if I'm, pretty full, I'm not going to go out of my way to get the cast iron river trout right away. But, it's in there. It's in the mix. And of course, there's two drinks I'm interested in as well. The Remy Shake. I'm sure all you guys have seen that. This is going to be over at the Sunshine Seasons menu, and this is a strawberry cheesecake milkshake topped with a cookie, a mini cheesecake, and a white chocolate Eiffel Tower, and a strawberry. Non-alcoholic. But yeah, it looks unreal. Looks so, so good. And then besides that, there is a mango peach bubble tea. I'm a big fan of boba and bubble teas. So that sounds super refreshing. I think on a nice hot day, I would love me a nice mango bubble tea. So yeah, of course, Epcot, you got to ride Guardians. Going to get Guardians in with the team, I'm sure. Got to ride Soarin'. Those are the staples. And then after that, we are going to be heading over to Universal for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So I'm going to be staying at a Universal resort, which will actually be my first time staying there. I'm going to be staying over at the Aventura Hotel. I'm super excited. I got the park view from my window. So that'll be something to sit back and relax and check out when I get home for the day. But still up in the air about Epic Universe. I have not been to Epic Universe quite yet. So I'm interested. If I get the chance to do it, I think I'm going to head over. I'm going to see what the rest of the team is doing. I believe they're going over there on Thursday. Originally it was Friday, but now I think it's Thursday. So I think it would be cool to experience that. And then my wife and my son are actually going to be flying down on Thursday as well. So it's going to end, the 407 portion of the trip is going to end on roughly Friday. I believe everybody's going to be heading home. So my wife and son, they're going to be hanging out at the resort themselves. And then once comes Friday and Saturday, we're going to be going back out and doing some parks ourselves. So that's basically it for this trip. I am going to dig a little bit deeper into planning this week, get more of a game plan. Of course, you're going to see a lot of this stuff on the socials. Make sure you're following the TikTok. Make sure you're following the Instagram. I'm going to be posting all of this stuff. A few of you guys have been requesting a few restaurants that you'd like me to check out. So I'm going to do a little bit of a deeper dive on that. I'm going to see which ones I'm going to go check out and which ones kind of just fall in with my schedule. So I'll be able to do that for you guys. Now, a couple people over on TikTok has sent me some messages. One girl specifically, her name was Anna. She messaged me and she was asking my advice on the best value resort over in Disney World, specifically between the All-Stars and Pop Century. So I will say the All-Stars always have a special place in my heart. I really, really love All-Star Sports. I would say All-Star Sports is probably one of the resorts that is booked the most of the three All-Stars. It's cheap. It's extremely well themed. It's fun. The pool is awesome. The poolside bar is awesome. It's super close to Animal Kingdom. But besides that, you are limited to the bus transportation, which, if that's not a big deal for you, then, I would say All Star Sports all day. But with that being said, if you don't have a rental car or if you don't like taking the bus, Pop Century, not much more money, also extremely well themed, and you got access to that Skyliner. The Skyliner goes to Epcot and Hollywood Studios. Of course, then from those parks, you could also just hop on buses and go to Animal Kingdom and Magic Kingdom. But yeah, I mean, you got quick access to Epcot and Hollywood. So that also comes into play too. What parks are you going to be going to on your trip? If those are two parks that you will be going to, then, Skyliner all day. It's insane to me how much time you save, even if you have a rental car. Like, I'm going to be having a rental car on this trip. You are not going to be catching me driving to Hollywood Studios or Epcot because I'm staying at Pop. I'm going to be hopping on that Skyliner all day. You hop right on, you get let off right at the park entrance, you go on in, you're good to go. At the end of the night, you hop right back on the Skyliner and you go home. You cannot beat that at all. The only time I will take a car to the park, one of those two parks specifically, if I have access to the Skyliner, is if I'm going to possibly be driving to another park afterwards, or if I'm going to just be completely going somewhere like Disney Springs afterwards as well, just to save me a little bit of time from going back to the hotel and then going in my car and driving away. Instead, I just go right in the parking lot and just dip out of there. So the overall answer to the question, if you don't care about the transportation, I would say All Star. If you want easy access to the parks, I would say Pop Century. They're both very similar layouts. The rooms are extremely similar. When you talk about standard rooms, they are literally the same. There's not much of a difference at all between Pop Century rooms and All-Star rooms. They are literally the same. Pop also has an amazing pool. I like All-Star Sports because I'm a sports guy, but I will say the theming at Pop Century is super cool too. A lot of random stuff. You got the Walkman, you got Roger Rabbit. Super nostalgic to me. They got a massive pool. If you're a swimmer, I know a lot of people, they love to go for the pools. I myself, I'm not a big swimmer, but I know other people are. So yeah, that's the quick summary of that answer. Unfortunately, there's two answers to that question. Sorry. And for the last question, this is just a fun one. What would you choose between a Mickey pretzel and a Mickey ice cream bar? Well, to give you a little bit deeper of an answer, it depends how I'm feeling. If I need something to cool me off, it's 100% going to be that Mickey ice cream bar. If it's going to be, just something, quick little snack to fill me up, it's going to be that Mickey pretzel all day. If I had to choose between the two, I've definitely gotten way more Mickey pretzels than I have Mickey ice cream bars. I just love me a Mickey pretzel with cheese all day, every day. Yeah, I will stand by that. So, guys, that's going to wrap up this episode. Once again, big announcement, officially with 407 and Beyond Productions. Can't describe how excited I am. I want to thank everybody over at 407, especially my guy Bruce Beal, the owner of 407. Such a good dude, and I'm excited to be a part of this team. So guys, with that being said, make sure you follow the socials. Make sure you go follow 407 and Beyond on everything. They're on Facebook, they're on TikTok, they're on YouTube, they are on Instagram. Follow them. We have an amazing team over there that will help you book your dream vacation. It doesn't just have to be Disney Universal. We will literally help you go anywhere in the world, and we will make it the best trip possible. If you want to follow me on my socials, I'm Nostalgic Belv on Instagram and TikTok. And don't forget to follow our new Instagram for this podcast over at Main Street Pod. If you could subscribe to the podcast and share it, that would also mean the world to me. That'll help us grow, and it'll help us keep in more episodes coming your way. Once again, thank you for the support as always, guys, and I hope you guys enjoy your day. Much love, and meet me here next week back on Main Street. Bye-bye.